The following opinions are solely those of BoatTEST.com and its test captain.
Hi, Captain Steve for BoatTEST.com, and today we're going to investigate several solutions for repowering stir drive and inboard boats. Replacing old engines can be less costly than you might think, depending on the condition of the engine, but in nearly all cases, repowering is virtually the only way to protect your investment in the boat and have the family fun that goes with it.
A catastrophic engine failure caused by freeze damage, a cracked block, overheating, warped heads, severe corrosion, neglect, and just plain old age can lead an old boat to the graveyard prematurely. While the fiberglass will last forever, the engines, no matter what the brand, will not. And if the engines are not repaired, the family's investment and their fun on the water turns to toast. Many people leave their boats to their children and grandchildren, and given the high cost of new boats, a passed-down boat may be the only way many will be able to afford one. Virtually all inboard and stir-drive gas engines that were marinized from 1985 to 2010 started life as General Motors engine blocks, but GM stopped making them years ago. So today, they're not available from any marinizer, and even remanufactured engines are largely no longer available. These engines are the 3.0-liter, the 5.0-liter, 5.7-liter, and the 8.1-liter GM engines, all used in both stern-drive and inboard applications. That means that hundreds of thousands of boats that are powered by those old engines risk becoming worthless if their engines have catastrophic failures, lose power, or deteriorate over time. Now the good news. Quicksilver, a division of Mercury Marine, is building those old engine designs as brand new engines from scratch, from the block on out. More good news. Since there have been many advancements in technologies over the last 30 years, and Quicksilver has had the benefit of 30 years to study the failures of the old designs, the new ones they're making are redesigned to be much more durable than the ones they're replacing. So now, owners of old boats with tired or unserviceable engines from most brands have three major solutions for protecting their boating investment and having family fun on the water. Solution number one is called the Quicksilver Long Block. It is the least costly way to resurrect an engine that has a damaged block. Least costly, that is, if all other parts needed for an operating engine are serviceable. And here we see on the table what is not included. By reusing everything except the long block itself, which contains the pistons, valves, crankshaft, and oil pan, substantial savings can be made in parts. Obviously, unless you can do the assembly yourself, there will be considerable labor costs with this solution. Taken together, the parts needed to complete the job will cost 2 to 3 times as much as the long block itself if purchased new. Here are the major parts needed to make the long block into an engine. The intake manifold needs to be reused from the old engine, and it better be perfectly clean. The exhaust system's components without corrosion or cracks. The throttle body for MPI engines or the carburetor. The parts of the distributor in good condition. The raw water pump. The engine coupler. Electrical components including the alternator and starter motor, and gaskets, and the fuel delivery system. The trouble with buying a long block is that sometimes it's not obvious what caused the original block's failure in the first place. If it's not freeze damage, it's usually a fault in the fuel or ignition system. Which brings us to solution number 2, a Quicksilver crate engine. Remember, just like the long block, Quicksilver is the only company that is making these legacy engines. As can be seen on the table, there are only 6 major parts that have not been incorporated into the crate engine, including all of the parts that may have caused failure in the original engine. The crate engine still lets the boater use existing exhaust components, the alternator, fuel delivery system components, starter motor, engine coupler, and the raw water pump in order to save money. But what if the boat's engine is just old and tired? The distributor is 30 years old, the carburetor is 40 years old, it has high engine hours, or there's lots of corrosion. The third solution will be the best for many people because it's so simple. A completely new Quicksilver engine, fully dressed and ready to go, can be installed quickly with lowest labor hours of the 3 solutions. There's no hassle, and it gives the boat decades more life, and gets the family back out on the water. All Quicksilver engines are hot tested, compression checked, pressure checked, and leak checked with dye and UV light. In all ways, these engines are better than the ones being replaced, and they have a 3-year warranty. Now, this might beg the question, why not just buy a new catalyzed engine to put in the old boat? Well, the answer is, because the boat was not designed for the new engines, which are usually larger and taller. The box size, position of the through holes, engine mounts, bulkheads, and clearances on all 6 sides might require extensive modification to the boat. The second reason is that these engines are probably more durable than most new engines on the market because they haven't done a 25-year shakedown like the legacy engines.
A final word about repowering. Many boaters looking for a low-cost way to replace their marine engine consider using an automotive engine, but that could be a costly mistake.
Automobile engines are mass-produced as cheaply as possible and cannot take the constant high RPMs, high temperatures, long idle periods, and dampness of the marine environment, much less the corrosive aspect of salt water. That's why buying an engine from anyone in the engine marinizing business would be better than buying an automobile engine.
That's our report on 3 Quicksilver solutions for repowering and protecting your boating investment. For BoatTEST.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.